of WCOP 3-month training program on school counseling. On behalf of WCOP, a hearty welcome to our Chief Patron WCOP Professor V. Ramamurthy Garu, Chief Patron and Chairman WCOP Professor Girishwar Mishra Garu, Patron Professor R.N. Singh, Chief Guest Professor V. Ganeshan Sir, Chairperson Dr. Panduranga Swami Garu, another Chairperson Professor S. Padmanabhai Garu, the Founder President WCOP Professor B.G. Reddy Garu, General Secretary Professor Subhashni Garu, and Treasurer WCOP Professor V. Suresh. Also, I would like to extend my hearty welcome to all the participants of this virtual meeting. Before we actually go into the meeting, I would like to give a brief introduction about WCOP. The World Congress of Psychologists is the brainchild of Dr. BGR. He is the founder president of WCOP with Professor R. Subhashni as the General Secretary and Professor Suresh as its treasurer. WCOP was inaugurated on June 12, 2021 with the motto, "Train yourself and train others" by Professor Meva Singh, who is the lifetime professor of the Department of Psychology, Mysore. The chief patrons of WCOP are Professor P.V. Ramamurthy from SV University, who is a pioneer in gerontology, Professor Mishra, former Vice Chancellor and one among the top 10 psychologists in the world, Professor V. Ganeshan Sir, Professor R.N. Singh from UP, and the senior most professors in psychology. WCOP is constituted with a 12-member committee and a 9-member advisory committee under the chairmanship of Professor Girishwar Mishra. It has established Karnataka State Chapter, Tamil Nadu State Chapter, Telangana State Chapter, and recently Andhra Pradesh State Chapter. If you look into the WCOP website, you can know about n number of national and international webinars as well as workshops within a short period, that is since its inception from 12th June 2021. As mentioned earlier, the motto of WCOP is "Train yourself and train others," and the very objective of WCOP is serve the needy both nationally and internationally through scientific counseling services. Now, I would like our founder professor, Dr. B.G. Reddy Garu, to give his welcoming address. And before he starts his welcoming address, a word about Professor B.G. Reddy Garu. He has completed his PG and PhD from SVU Tirupati from the Department of Psychology. He joined as a lecturer in 1955, promoted as a reader and professor in the Department of Psychology in SVU. More than 30 years of teaching experience for B.Ed, M.Ed, and MSc Psychology students. He guided 17 PhDs and 18 MPhil students. He published more than 60 articles in various journals, and he had written 14 psychology books for Telugu Academy Hyderabad. He is the founder and General Secretary of Indian Academy of Psychologists. He is the founder president of Inspire Professional Psychology Society of India. He is the founder president of Superannuated Psychology Society of India and founder honorary president of Unemployed Psychology Society of India and founder president of WCOP. Now I welcome you, sir, to give your welcoming speech.
Thank you very much, Dr. Cindy Simon. Very nicely introduced me. Now, once again, good evening and welcome you all. Chief Patron, Professor P.V. Ramamurthy, who was my mentor, guide, teacher, and another Chief Patron, Professor Girishwar Mishra ji, and he is also Chairman of Advisory Committee, WCOP, and he is a ex-Vice Chancellor, MGA HY University, and he is one in top 10 psychologists among the world. We are really proud to announce it. We are really announced to, the WCOP is fortunate enough to be with us as chief patron as well as advisory committee chairperson. So under his advisory committee second meeting, this WCOP 3 months training program evolved. And another, the WCOP one journal, also the WCOP in collaboration with Professor Aradhana Shukla, who is also already the chief editor of this Mind and Society. And it was under the second meeting, Professor Mishraji suggested, and we all 9 members obliged to have a collaboration, WCOP in collaboration with this Mind and Society. We are going to run a journal in the coming days, and all the participants can also make a note, and here afterwards, any of the articles related to psychology kindly forwarded to this journal, that is WCOP in collaboration with Mind and Society. Then coming to our patron and renowned trainer, Professor Vedagiri Ganeshan sir. He was not only patron of WCOP, and so far 35 workshop sessions under his leadership, the WCOP have carried out so far. So I welcome our beloved Professor, patron, chief guest, and renowned trainer today's meeting. I once again welcome you, sir. And in our, though he is not in our midst, Professor Meva Singh is a professor, lifetime professor, honorary president of WCOP, University of Mysore. So he could not come today because he was held up somewhere. So anyway, I once again just unofficially, I am just welcoming this renowned professor. Then another professor, senior post professor, Professor Arun Singh, who is also a patron. He is from Banaras Hindu University, Uttar Pradesh. And colleagues, Professor R. Subhashini, General Secretary of, he's a founder General Secretary of WCOP, and presently, though he was a psychology professor, presently working in Dean, Madras School of Social Work, Tamil Nadu. Another very important key person in our WCOP, Professor V. Suresh, Treasurer of WCOP, Annamalai University, Tamil Nadu. And I also welcome the another advisory committee persons, as well as 12-member core committee members, as well as 7 committee members, executive committee members of this WCOP. And here I am welcoming the 2 eminent people. One is Professor K. Panduranga Swami, former DO and professor who worked at SCRT, Andhra Pradesh government. Then who is also another chairperson is with us, Professor S. Padmanabhaya Garu from Education Department, Venkateswara University. Then here I am just special invitees are with us. One is Professor Madnaved and another Professor K.N. Tripathi, Barkatullah University, Bhopal. Another Madam Professor Madhurima Pradhan, Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. And another Professor Nutan Kumar. Then as I already mentioned, Professor Aradhana Shukla is with us. Then one Rotary Club President just is from Tirupati, Chittoor district, Andhra Pradesh. Professor M. Rama Mohan Reddy is with us. I welcoming you, the special invitees. And today's the rapporteur, that is Dr. Chinni Shaiman, and another three technical coordinators are with us, Professor Dr. P. Venu, Dr. G. Anupama, and Dr. B. Changal Raju. These are all the technical
Good evening, sir.
of WCOP. So I welcoming all these just in a systematic way, as well as I also welcoming the beloved participants all over India. So really, we are fortunate to have this group, those who have completed MA or MSc psychology from various universities all over India. So actually we thought of restricting to 30 number only, but ultimately we could not be able to restrict the enthusiastic students, participants, and they're also working. So actually one word I would like to mention here, the WCOP under the chairmanship of Professor Girishwar Mishra ji, this 3 months training program was evolved. So subsequently, we had a subcommittee meeting with Professor Vedagiri Ganeshan sir. So because who is a renowned trainer in India, so under his chairmanship, so we have evolved certain principles, and this program, 3 months program, but because of this COVID, we could not be able to meet physically. So that's why we planned to go for this online virtual training program. And here certain principles also we have formulated the committee. Here the participants, I am giving the 2 points they should keep it in mind. One is here they should join every meeting twice in a week for these 3 months. Then 75% of the attendance are also going to be we are going to be implemented, and daily after training, each participant has to write down problem and case analysis and submit to the to the number which I am going to just give it in the last before close of this meeting. And every day, and each participant at least one case study for these 24 programs, 25 case studies, so have to be just submitted to the respective WhatsApp number, and we will download these 24 or 25 case studies submitted by each participant. Will just finally will make it as a one record. So that means here 30 participants or 60 participants, 60 records finally as an evidence that these people have undergone the scientific 3 months training program, and which in turn they will be equipped themselves as good psychologists, and in turn can extend psychological counseling, particularly as far as this 3 months training program purely restricted to school counseling only. Particularly nowadays, all of you know that here now students are involved in so many diverted activities, such as addicting to cell, addicting to so many bad events as far as the society is concerned, the school is concerned. So in order to overcome all these anomalies with the student community as well as with the parents of the students, so this WCOP, thanks to our beloved chairperson, Professor Girishwar Mishra ji, and other committee members, and we have this WCOP came forward to conduct this 3 months training program in a scientific way. And ultimately, the objective of this WCOP, train yourself and train others, will be just we are going to achieve. So with that intention, we have conducted this program, and today we are inaugurating with among these so-called VIPs. All are eminent professors. All are experts in education as well as in this psychology field. Now, once again, welcoming all the VIPs today with us, the so-called special invitees from North India, and the professors, the patrons, the chief patrons, the colleagues of mine, General Secretary, and core committee members, and treasurer, and executive committee members, and other advisory committee members, we are all one family. We are running and we are doing the best through this WCOP in order to fulfill the main objective. We have to extend psychological services to the needy all over globe. So with that intention, we are moving. Kindly cooperate with us. Ultimately and finally, I thank you. I welcome you all to this inaugural function. Thank you very much to all of you. Now, Chinni Simon, please go ahead.
Thank you very much, sir, for your nice welcoming address. Now, I would like to invite our patron, WCOP, Professor Anand Singaru, to speak a few words with the gathering. Before he starts, I would like to introduce, to make an introduction about him. He is a professor in Banaras Hindu University, Uttar Pradesh. More than 40 years of teaching and research experience. He had developed 100 research papers in various journals and 14 books in psychology. He developed and adapted more than 2 dozens of research tools and supervised nearly 35 PhD degrees. He completed 2 UGC research projects and organized 12 national and international seminars and conferences. He has a passion in associating with social and cultural organizations to encourage the student community to maintain social and communal harmony. Sir, we are very, very happy to have you in our midst. Now I request you, sir, to address the gathering today. Professor Anand Singh, sir, please address the gathering now.
Thank you, madam, very much to invite me to have a verbal interaction with you and the other participants of the WCOP. Really, I am very glad to have to enjoy the company of people like you and Professor Reddy. I think the motive, the objective with which this WCOP is progressing towards to serve the society is really very much interesting. It will prove to be helpful for the society as a whole and the person who are suffering from different types of problems in particular. So many stalwarts from the fields of psychology and education having high expertise in the subject disciplines are cooperating with this organization. And I think in near future, we shall be in position to compete with other organizations of the country and abroad. Thank you very much once again to invite me because I have limitations of time and the experts will share their views in the said area. So I am again thankful to you to give me an opportunity to have some interaction with you. Thank you.
So sweet of you, sir. Thank you very much. Now, I would like to introduce you an eminent personality who is also our chairperson, Dr. Pandurangaswamy Garu. He hails from Kurnool district of Andhra Pradesh. He had completed MA Sociology from SKU, Sri Krishnadevara University, Anantapur, MA English from Annamala University, MA in Distance Education from IGNOU, Delhi, and MPhil from Osmania University, and PhD from SKU, Anantapur. A retired DEO, District Educational Officer, with 36 years of experience in school education. He is a good administrator with a passion for helping people to learn new things. He worked as a teacher for 7 years, high school teacher for 7 years, as lecturer in Diet College, Kurnool for 10 years, a lecturer in IISc Kurnool for 3 years, and professor in SERT Andhra Pradesh for 4 years, and finally as the District Educational Officer for Chittoor District of Andhra Pradesh for 2 years. His career highlights are he attended various training programs and workshops held by NCERT AP. He produced training modules and organized training programs for Mandal Educational Officers of Andhra Pradesh. He produced textbooks and training modules for AP Open School Society, and he presented papers in national seminars. He conducted various state level programs and workshops for RMSA AP and SCRT AP. As a state coordinator for National Achievement Survey, he had conducted surveys. He received district level awards, and as a coordinator, he worked as a coordinator and editor for 22 books of uh, diploma in elementary education course. He worked also as a research guide for 2 PhDs and 41 MPhil degree holders. We are very, very fortunate, sir, to have you. And I had also undergone SRP training under the leadership of Dr. Panduranga Swami Garu. I'm very, very happy, sir, to have you in our midst here. Now, I would like you to address the gathering today.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Uh, Good evening. Good evening to all eminents who are on the board. I am very thankful to WCOP, World Congress of Psychologists. I am very thankful for them, and especially Dr. Govinda Reddy Garu, Professor Psychology SV University, and he is close associated with me for writing psychology books and other textbooks also. I am very really I'm honored to invite for this kind of program. Really, it is a good program. Especially, we need a lot of counseling professionals today. India needs, according to one survey, India needs 1.4 billion counseling professionals because the scenario of society has been changed. Today, we are living in the digital age. The total society is online, and we are teaching to Z generation learners. All these present school going children are Z generation learners born after 2000, and their behavioral patterns are different when compared to our behavioral patterns. And the society is also completely changed. Traditional joint families are no more now, and all the children are in their nuclear families, and the parents are very busy in their day-to-day life. They are busy to get their own livelihood, and there are no elders to counsel. So nowadays children are facing a lot of anxiety, emotions, various problems are facing. We are seeing in newspapers every day in schools, a lot of children are getting suicides. According to national crime records, in year 2015, they stated that for every 1 hour there is a one suicide of children. It means for every day 24 children are dying due to suicide. I'm talking about students, and this is the same in 2020. This figure raised to 34, and due to this corona also, children isolated, limited to school, house, not going to the school, isolated, facing a lot of emotional problems, psychological problems. We have been seeing all these things. So when at this point of time, school counselors are highly essential. Even in NC New Education Policy 2020, they strongly recommended to appoint one counselor for each high school. they are planning. And at the same time, they started training the teachers on identifying the anxiety, stress problems in the students and how to counsel their problems, how to guide them properly. So things are going on other side. So the mental health of each child is unique. This everybody has to be bear in mind. The mental health of each child is unique. Each of them has got their own world of imagination. So all children maybe physically they are same, but mentally they are different. Their IQs are different. Their problems are different. Their surroundings are different. And all the children are coming to school. Again, in school also, there are so many problems. There are adjustment problems are there, coping up problems are there, socio-psychological problems are there, emotional problems are there. As an Indian society, ours is a plural society. Caste-based problems are there. A lot of problems. We have enormous problems. Today, child is sharing the emotions through a small touch of mobile. So like that, we are living in the network. Today, all human beings are in the living network. A lot of problems are cropping up in high school students with the social networking. And thereby, they have been cheated. They are committing suicides. They are facing a lot of trauma and confusion. They are unable to decide what is true, what is not. And especially in high schools, as they are entering into the adolescence age, their world is different. They're in experimental stage. As our Professor Govindra Reddy said, there are a lot of problems like addiction, not only in high school and colleges, addiction, alcoholism, and viewing the mobile phone, addiction to mobile phone, watching the mobile phone. Even small children now in our family, they are addicted to watch the mobile, to play the games. Likewise, enormous problems are cropping up day by day in the system. It may be in the school, it may be in the family. So whatever it may be, the child is in problem today. That we have to bear in mind. He needs to counsel. He needs therapy. That is talk therapy. The counseling is nothing but talk therapy, we can simply say. And it's a kind of positive psychology, giving a positive advices, bringing them out from the problems that they are facing. So today children are very common to see that they are under stress. It may be academic stress, it may be social stress, they are with anxiety, it may be evaluation or examination. So a lot of things are happening, peer pressures. Some of the children asking them to use tobacco, smoking, alcohol. This is kind of peer pressure. If we did not accept, they will say you are useless, you are under matured, underdeveloped, like that. There are peer pressure. Likewise, and in the surroundings also, our folk surroundings are different, and our food habits have been changed. Likewise, the total life of the individual become very complex today. And our present day children are future citizens. They are the leaders, they are the rulers, they are the politicians, they are the service people. So they are going to take up some activity, some position in the future society. If these people are suffering with mental problems, mental agony, adjustment problems, how can we expect them to learn better? So these mental problems naturally it is a barrier for learning. They are not able to achieve better marks. When they are not able to achieve better marks in this rat race, now we are on the marks, grades, but not real intelligence. Even the parents also pressurize them a lot without knowing their level of the student. Likewise, from all dimensions, the child is under pressure. The teacher will apply pressure. If the child is not able to learn, he will give different types of punishments. And we all moved from different stages in our life, but we are unable to, in our formative years also, we face a lot of problems and we coped up with those problems. But today we are not thinking about those problems with the children. We never pursued the same feelings, same problems are children facing. If you go back to your childhood, school days, certainly you will remember how you have been faced a lot of problems. In the same way, the problems are cropped up and multiplied in different dimensions. So now this situation demands a lot of counseling professionals, and government is also trying to appoint counseling professionals for each school, but it will take time as it is a policy matter. I am very happy WCOP came forward to train counseling professionals who will in turn will help the last mile student in the school. So these people who are trained, certainly in day-to-day teaching, they will guide their students, they will counsel their students, they will give positive things, they will make them to keep their fear away, and they will become a balanced personality. So personalities will affect certainly with stress and other disorders. So when there is a trained professional in the school, certainly will address the problems of the children. In day-to-day, in various observations, as a teacher, we can observe and we can guide them properly by investigating their socio-economic conditions. So these mental problems, emotional problems, communicative problems, is according to this Indian Council of Medical Research, ICMR, says that 12 to 13% of the school-going children are suffering with mental, emotional, and communicative problems. They are unable to express what exactly they are feeling. They got poor communication. They are unable to express their problems properly before the teacher, before the headmaster, or before the parents. And parents also, they are not able to answer their problems. There is a communicative gap between the parents and the child. And in our tradition, we are unable to express our problems before our parents. Traditions are become a barrier. Likewise, all this leads to lack of concentration on studies, lack of confidence in learning. So various psychological aspects are pressurizing the child. There is a great need to help them. There is a great need to support them. So counseling is a kind of, it's a process, how to help, how to guide the people for a better way. That is the very simple definition of counseling. Counseling is nothing but it's a process that is meant for guiding the people who are in problems. He may be patient, he may be whatever it may be. Now this program is specially designed for school counseling. So very good opportunity for the school educators, teachers. They will develop themselves and they will help the child. And at the same time, once we become a professional, you can also apply the same knowledge to the other children who are studying in other schools. In your surroundings, in your neighborhood also, you can counsel the children. So here, in this course, they will talk about various approaches: CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy, ACT, and acceptance and committed. Likewise, it's a very systematic program, very scientific program. Certainly, it will enrich your knowledge. Of course, you might have studied your post-graduation in psychology, but it will add it to your knowledge. It will add so many things to your knowledge. It is purely application in nature. As I discussed with Govindra Reddy sir, he told his objectives. His basic objective is to develop counseling professionals. In turn, these people will help the children. All our children coming to government schools are poor children. They don't have proper environment to learn. They don't have proper elders to guide. So for such a poor people, this kind of program will help a lot. So I wish a great success for all the people who have enrolled for this training program. And I am very thankful to the organization. Thank you very much. Over to organizers. Hello.
Thank you very much, sir, for your valuable and enriching message regarding the dire need of counseling psychologists for at school level for the students who are facing lot of problems, lot of psychological problems and pressures, both from parents, teachers, as well as their they have their own academic stress and all. Thank you very much, sir, for your well wishes given to us. Now, I would like to invite another chief guest, Professor S. Padmanabhai Garu, to address the gathering. And before he addresses, I would like to give us a brief introduction of Professor Padmanabhai Garu. He is a professor of education in SVU Sri Venkateswara University, Tirupati. Regarding the positions he held, he worked as the head of the Department of Education in SVU, as Dean Faculty of Education in SVU, and principal of IASC SVU. He also was a member in expert committee of state and central governments. He also is a director for State Resource Center for Adult and Continuing Education (MHRD) scheme in the Government of India. He is also an advisor to the Department of Education for Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University, and he is very notorious in giving extension lectures in UGC academic staff colleges all over India. He won many awards like Sardar Patel National Literacy Award in 2003, Award of International Association of Education for World Peace of USA, Award of Commonwealth Association for Education and Training of Adults given by UK, and the Global University Milan. He guided many scholars with MPhils and PhDs and organized many conferences, seminars, and workshops at national and international levels. Sir, you are a very learned person, and we are very, very happy to have you in our midst today. Now, I welcome you to address the gathering. Professor Padmanabhai Garu, please come forward and give your valuable address.
Please unmute yourself, sir.
Right. I think I am audible now. Right. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Right. Thank you, Chinni Simon ji, for having introduced me to the gathering. Professor Vedagiri, Professor B.V. Ramamurthy Garu, Professor Govind Reddy, Professor Pandurangaswamy. So many people are there. They are all having psychology background, all retired persons mostly, with a lot of their experience. Probably they want to do something good to the society at free of cost. Maybe that is the aim of World Congress of Psychologists. Professor Pandurangaswamy has given very clear idea about the need for counseling in the present society for both students as well as parents. But to me, 90% of the people are not having problems. Even if they have problems, they can find solutions by themselves. Only 10%. If you take the normal distribution, the most problematic children will be less than 5% among the student population. And the most problematic adults, parents, will be definitely more than 25%. Because most of the parents are creating problems for their wards. by forcing them to satisfy their desires. I want to become doctor, but I couldn't. So I want to force my ward to become doctor. So this is the first cause of stress among the students. It is mostly created by the parents. So to me, the counseling is more needed to our parents, not to the students. Students, of course, as I told you, it is less than 5% of the students who will be having, who are having problematic. I mean, who are having problems which require some counseling. Guidance, career guidance, or educational guidance, or personal guidance, advisors, suggestions, all these things are components of counseling. But counseling, as Panduranga Swami revealed, it is a very, very scientific process. We have to understand the child, his environment, his peer group, his family background, social background, economic background. All these things are to be kept in mind before you are going to interact with the child. It is not advising, it is not suggesting, it is only having a complete rapport with the student who requires counseling. Counseling is a very, very technical process. Not that giving advice is, hey, do engineering, you are good in mathematics, go for engineering course. That is only advice. That is only a suggestion. Most of the teachers and parents are doing such things. But counseling is required only for those children who are having chronic problems with them. Chronic problems. They are having continuously with that stress or emotional imbalances or whatever it is, chronic problems. They require counseling. For others, it is guidance and suggestions and advices by elders, by family members, by parents, by teachers. That's enough to solve their problems. Suppose if a student has a problem in underachiever, suppose an underachieving student is there and he is having some stress because he is scoring a low percentage of marks, then probably he can go for a tuition or he can spend some reading habits can be suggested by the teacher and he can overcome it. So that is not counseling. Counseling is required, in my point of view, only in less than 5% of the children and more than 25% of the parents. Large number of parents are creating problems for their wards. Remember that. And definitely teachers should have this knowledge of counseling, and we usually introduce the guidance and counseling as one of the optional papers in B.Ed and M.Ed. But those who are interested in that particular area, those who are having psychological, MA psychology or psychological background, they may prefer that particular course, and they definitely they can do better job in providing counseling to the students. As Panduranga Swami revealed just now, that government of India wants to have a counselor in every high school. Why high school? For every 3 or 4 elementary schools or primary schools, a counselor is required. As you are having special teacher, a counselor should be there for a group of a cluster of schools within the radius of 5 kilometers or 10 kilometers. And weekly, one day he has to attend a particular school, and there he has to find out by discussing with the teachers who are regularly observing the students, he has to identify some students who are having some mischievous behavior, problematic behavior, and some erratic behavior, whatever it is, a peculiar way of behavior, not normal, somewhat abnormal. Such people should be identified, and he should develop interaction with them. It's not that, hey, you are misbehaving, you have to correct yourself. This is not the way that you have to be. It's not like that. He has to develop interaction with them, friendship with them, and then slowly he has to get the complete information about what he thinks, what are his perceptions, what are his thinking process, how he's thinking, what is his critical thinking, analytical thinking, logical thinking, divergent thinking. So these are all the things which he has to analyze before he is going to provide counseling to the child. So it is a very technical process, and basing on identifying the problematic children in the school system, probably he has to conduct a lot of interaction with the parents and peer groups. After all, in 365 days, only 200 to 220 working days are there to attend the school by the children. And even on 24 hours, only 5 to 6 hours he will be in the school. So how many hours? So 220 to 6, it comes to only 13 and odd hours out of 7,000 and odd hours in a year. It is less than 1/6 of the total time that the child is under the control of the teacher. So mostly they are associated with the parents. So parents are mostly in Indian society, although we talk about literacy rate is around 70%, more than 50% of the parents are unable to show any interest in the educational, aspects of their wards. They are not able to. And the discrimination between gender bias is it is very, very, all the remote villages, the gender bias is prevailing. They give different treatments to the male child and female child in the same family. That creates a lot of problems in the minds of the children. So that's why I feel that more than 25 to 30% of the parents are required counseling and guidance, not the children. Children are very comfortably adjusting themselves, 90%. Only some 5% of the children probably may have chronic problems where counseling is required. Anyhow, I appreciate the World Congress of Psychologists for having developed a course. I think NCERT also conducting guidance and counseling course for the past 3 decades or 4 decades. Those who are interested can participate in that, and they have distance mode mostly. And 1 month contact classes will be conducted by them, and they issue the certificate also. And similarly, the World Congress of Psychologists is providing this kind of training program. And I don't know why Govind Reddy wants to have only 30 participants or enrollment to enroll themselves in the training program. It is a virtual classroom, so it can be even 1,000. So allow as many number as possible. Not that all the people will continuously attend all the classes. Remember that. They may attend, and in the beginning, they may enroll themselves, they may see, they may come on to the screen, and afterwards, they may not participate. It is happening in almost all distance mode learning and these online training programs. For the past 2 years, my grandchildren are in the educational engineering courses. They are also having online training programs. For the 4 semesters, she has completed by staying at home. And what kind of interaction will be there among the peer group? So definitely it creates so many, psychological problems in the minds of the children. So they, as Panduranga Swami just now revealed, that in the digital age, different kinds of problems are being, but definitely don't be pessimistic. We are optimistic. We should be optimistic. And the problematic children will be always very, very less percent, 5 to less than 10%. As some, what is that? World, National Medical Council also identified some 12 to 13% of the children are having some psychological problems or something like that, as Panduranga Swami revealed. But it will be that even among that 12 to 13%, I'm sure that chronic problems will be prevailing only with 3 to 5%. The remaining 7 to 8% can be very easily put them in the right track again. So that's why my advice to Govind Reddy, the chairperson of, the president of WHO, World Congress of Psychologists, president and secretary, the president should be inviting more number of parents in these virtual classrooms to get some knowledge about what kind of advices they have to give to their children, to their wards. That is more important, because it is the parent who should be trained properly to put their wards in the right track. Apart from teachers, as I already told you, only 1/6 of the time the child will be under the control of the teacher. 220 into 6 hours or 5 hours. That's all. It comes to only 1,200 hours or 1,300 hours out of 7,000 and odd hours in a year, 365 into 24. So it will be just less than 15 to 20% of the time the child will be under the control of the student, teachers. The remaining 80%, they will be away from the school, and that means they are in the society. They are mostly being observed by their peer group or parents, and parents should be provided proper guidance to take care of their wards. That's how I look at the counseling. Thank you very much for having given me the opportunity to associate with this program. But anyhow, Vedagiri, professor of psychology, who is versed with the training programs, will be capable of carrying on this 3 months training program effectively under his guidance by inviting other resource persons apart from himself. I wish all the best and all the success with this 3 months training program. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Sir. You have led us through the positive vibes at the onset, saying that 90% of the population have no problems at all. And even if they have, they can find solutions on their own. What a positivity, sir. Thank you very much for your enriching message to us regarding counseling, its dire need today to school students, even at primary level, and the counselor's nature of work. Thank you very much, sir. Now, I would like to invite the chief guest of today's program, Professor Ganeshan sir, to virtually inaugurate our training program, 3-month training program conducted by WCOP. And before he comes onto the screen, I would like to say a few words regarding this Professor Vedagiri Ganeshan sir. He is a multi-faced personality. He renowned business and organizational environmental psychologist. More than 40 years of experience in training and consultancy at national and international levels. At present, he is working as the Dean for School of Behavioral Sciences, American Taxila University, Guyana, South Africa. He worked as the head of the department in the Department of Psychology for Bhartiyar University, Coimbatore. He is also a member senate in leadership consultant for SESI Creative School, Coimbatore. He guided 25 PhDs and another 10 PhDs are on hand at both international and national and international universities. He organized several workshops and got several awards. Now, I would like to invite Professor Ganeshan sir to address the group and then go for virtual inauguration of the program.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Chinni Simon, for introduction. I'm thankful to Professor Reddy for having offered me the opportunity. And this service of WCOP will go a long way in the history of psychology in India, where the professionals are reaching out to a specific group of school counselors throughout the country. And this skill development program will really help the students in the various schools throughout the country. It's only a short-term program of 3 months with a 75% attendance and presenting case studies, so that will be a interactional program between the experts and the participants. And I would like to appreciate WCOP office bearers for this wonderful program. And I have a great pleasure in inaugurating this program on today and appreciate the efforts of the organizing committee. I wish the program a grand success. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you very much, sir, for your kind words and for integrating the program. Now I request Professor V. Suresh Garu, the Secretary, the Treasurer, WCOP, to extend his vote of thanks for all our invitees. He is a professor in psychology in Annamalai University, Tamil Nadu. He has done PG and PhD from Annamalai University. With more than 30 years of teaching and research experience, he was a former professor and HOD in the Department of Psychology, Annamalai University. He is also a former director for Center for Yoga Studies, Annamalai University, and at present he is the post director for the Care Institute of Behavioral Sciences, Chennai. He won Psychometric Educational Award and Distinguished Teacher Award of Anna University, Tamil Nadu. He is very much interested to work in the field of counseling, social psychology, and in yoga therapy. Sir, now I invite you to extend vote of thanks to our invitees.
Thank you. Good evening to all. And I'm happy that the dream of WCOP is actually being realized through this program, because as we know, the motto of the program was to train yourself and train others. And this program is being realized due to the efforts of many people, not just one individual. So I thank the WCOP chief patrons, the advisory committee, the core committee members, etc. And in today's program, I thank both the chief guests who have beautifully highlighted the need for counseling in schools and where the problem lies, how it has to be addressed, etc., which shows their exposure and wisdom. And I thank both of them for their enlightening speech. And Professor Ganesan, I know him from 1980s. And even after all these years, still I see him the same person with the same enthusiasm and energy. And such an experienced person is being the resource person for this training program. And I'm thankful for extending his services for the training program. I thank Professor B.G. Reddy, who actually coordinates all these activities and is able to bring it to action. I thank Dr. Chinni Simon for her beautiful comparing. And I thank all the participants, and I congratulate the participants, and I wish them all the best. And I thank every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Dr. Chinni Simon, 1 minute. Now, once again, we are requesting Professor Ganeshan sir to just go ahead with the training program. Before that, here with us, the special invitees are with us. Professor Magnavat is there, K.N. Tripathi is there, Madhurima Pradhan Madam is with us, Nutan Kumar is with us, Professor Aradhana Supla is with us. So, may I request these said stalwarts just to say a few words. Kindly. Madam Aradhana Supla. or whomsoever is available with us, please. Available, the names which I have announced, kindly come forward and say few words. Okay. Now, Dr. Chinni Simon, please go ahead.
So as announced by Professor V.G. Reddy Garu, I would like to invite Professor V. Ganeshan sir, who has inaugurated the virtual training program today, to go ahead with his training program regarding school counseling. I think this would be the first day of training program. So I request you, sir, now to go ahead with the training program on school counseling. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Chinni Simon, and also Professor Reddy Garu for giving me the opportunity to be the first opening batsman for this program. As it has been told by the previous experts, Dr. Pandurangaya and also Padmanabhaya, they have told that the human beings are shaped by the family, by the parents, and also by the teachers and the society. Now, as Padmanabhaya has told already, the counseling or the training is to be given not only to the student but also to the parents. I agree with him totally with that. That is why we have the parent teacher association is there in every school, and it has to be activated, and the school counselors should address the teachers separately and the parents separately, and then try to find out what is the problem with some students and what is the solution that they can think of. And this interactional program with the teachers and the parents separately will go a long way in solving the student problems. So the central aspect of emotional problem are people becoming unproductive students or deviant students. That is one of the major problems which we come across. How to put them on track. One of the simple technique which I would suggest is the counselors can ask the students, especially the problem students, to maintain an account of helping behavior. What is the helping behavior? I will describe now. Recently, I was invited to inaugurate one national level workshop for counseling to MBA students. You know, MBA students are already graduates and they are in the final year of MBA. And the peculiarity of this program is the colleges, 8 different MBA colleges, they have selected four problem students from each college, 8 colleges. So these people participated in the program. That means they have found that these fellows have got some severe problem, emotional problem, adjustmental problem, and they were sent for a special training program inaugurated by one of the colleges, and I was the person to inaugurate. So what we can give for such a group, it is not individual counseling, it's a group counseling. And these people are problem characters as identified by the teachers. We cannot address the parents. We cannot even address the teachers. I was asked to address only these students, problem students and business management students. If this is the case in a particular state, this is with regard to Tamil Nadu only, this group has come. Then you can imagine what will be the condition of students in various other states, various other language groups. Okay, so that is the condition which is there. So there is a dire need for emotional counseling, interpersonal counseling for students, not only at a degree level, at the lower level, at the education level, like secondary schools, middle schools, and even primary schools. So what I have given in that program is only a very simple technique. The people who are having problems, adjustmental problems, or mental health problems in general, are people who are self-centered. They are self-centered. That is the problem. They don't know how to relate to others, including their parents or teachers and the society. If they are able to effectively communicate and relate and interact with people outside the person, especially the parents, and also teachers and the classmates and the neighbors and the society, there is no absolute problem. So this is only a small group of students. Not all MBA students are having this problem. Not all the school children are having the problem. As Professor Padmanabhaya has pointed out, only a small group is the problem. But unless this small group is not identified and helped, and they will affect the others. Okay, they will affect their parents, they will affect the teachers, they will affect the classmates also. And once they come out of the school or the college or the university, they will affect the society by occupying some key posts. And they will continue to affect that place, which we call as organizational climate. So the organizational climate of an organization can be affected by the person who is the top of the organization. For example, a school principal, okay, he will affect the school climate. Like family, we have got concepts like family climate and school climate and organizational climate. So their basic behavior, their emotional maturity, all these things have to be helped. But actually they are not aware that they have a problem. There is a blind spot. Okay, and they do not know they have become a problem to themselves and to others. So one of the simple technique which I use is to give an assignment to them, which will be very interesting because people from schools and colleges, they are focused on the marks, the grades. So their mind is focused there, but they find it difficult to get good marks in a particular subject because they have got some handicap, some problem. So if you want them to get good marks in their mother tongue or in English or in Hindi or in mathematics or in science, it is going to be difficult for them without proper training by the teachers and the cooperation of the students. So I always suggest something which they can do very easily. So what is the technique is known as the helping score. If you can help somebody, including your parents or classmates or teachers or neighbors or relatives, you allot a score for yourself. It's a subjective score in multiples of thousands. Okay, multiples of thousands, not 500, 600, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, 50,000. You be liberal in giving, awarding scores for your helping behavior. So it is a H score. Okay. And you write down in your daily diary what is your H score for today. So I asked these people, have you helped somebody today within the family, outside the family, in the classroom, or outside the classroom? Then somebody says, yes, I have helped somebody. Now give a score liberally to yourself for that helping behavior. So you can give 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, or whatever. Then what happens? They gradually start into helping others. That means they care for others. What we call as pro-social behavior or altruistic behavior. So we are gradually moving them from selfishness to caring for others. In other words, they are becoming compassionate. Once they become compassionate, all their skills will develop. But if they are egoistic, then they are always selfish and they don't care about anybody, including the parents or teachers or society. And if it continues like that, they will become criminals ultimately. Whatever be the qualification, or without qualification also, they can become a criminal. Another thing is they will become mentally ill. So the central aspect of mental illness is being selfish. If a person is selfish, either they become passive, unproductive, or they become aggressive and exploitative. So the core problem is being selfish. How to crack that selfishness is to gradually open the doors for helping behavior. And I have found in my experience, some people have suddenly jumping from selfishness to altruism by this course. So the score for today, for example, for a person, maybe 5,000. The person has helped the mother or father or the teacher or a classmate, and the total score is 5,000 today. Okay, continue that score for tomorrow also, like a bank account. So you continue it and you let it be a cumulative score, 5,000 plus for tomorrow. But only suggestion is try to improve the score on a day-to-day basis. Then tomorrow the score may be 7,000, and now it adds the 5,000, and it becomes a 12,000. Okay, for the second day, like that it goes on. After a week or two, it would have reached a few hundreds. Then the person feels happy, and it is a self-rewarding mechanism. In behavior therapy, no one need to reward. The person himself or herself can reward for their own behavior instead of looking for some appreciation from others. Because others may not appreciate, okay? Like a teacher or a parent or a friend, they may not appreciate. So instead of expecting others to appreciate, the person learns how to appreciate one's own behavior. And the person gets involved with that kind of behavior and is always looking for how I can help others. And that is a way out of selfishness. That's a way out of mental illness. That is a way out of criminality also. Even if they engage in criminal behaviors, in hurting others, and from hurting others to helping others is a great leap. And this is how it has been suggested to the group of MBA students in that program. So I inaugurated and offered the first training program, then I left. Okay, so it was an icebreaker for that group of about 40 people from 8 schools of management from a particular state. Okay, here I would like to stop and look for any interaction, questions or problems, so that the whole program is interactional. It's not a lecture program. Okay, and you can give a solution, give a problem, and also give the solution which you have given, and we'll be happy to appreciate that. And in case you need help, we will be able to supplement. Please start. I invite the participants to actively participate in this program. This will be a two-way process, and though we are not able to meet face to face, we can always interact through the medium. Please start. Please unmute and start. Any participant? Others can wait. Whoever comes forward, please start.
As president of WCOP, I would like to raise one problem, that is regularly irregular. A student is becoming regularly irregular and getting absent from the school, sir. So what would be the solution for it? Kindly give solution.
Okay, fine. I would like to clarify, do you find he is a latecomer or he is an absentee? Late coming or absenteeism?
Absenting, sir. Absenting from the school.
Okay. So the person is absenting and the person is not aware that he is absenting, or he is confronted by the teacher and the classmates and the person feels embarrassed. So a person is absenting for a week and reappears by the next week, one day. So the person is ashamed, and the teacher is also chastising. The classmates are looking down because they are all regulars. They are not absentees. But this person, absentee, is very shy of re-entering because he feels guilty that he has kept away from the class. Okay. So now, this is a negative reinforcement or it is a punishment. People just look at him as if he is a zero. Now, can we change the behavior of the teacher and the classmates to this person, boy or girl? Okay. So one of the central thing in behavior therapy or behavior modification is people can change the behavior of a person by changing their behavior. If you want to change the behavior of the absentee, first requirement is the teachers and students who are great influence on the student, they should change their behavior. Instead of laughing or looking down upon or scolding or punishing, ask him to stand on the bench or whatever, which is not liked by the student. So naturally, he will continue to absent. So there are two behaviors. One is absenting, another is reappearing. The person is reappearing after 1 week of absenting. Maybe he has a reason, sickness or family problem or financial problem. But whatever it is, what is required is to shape up. The shaping up is a technique or development of a desirable behavior that the student has to come to the class every day in this case, or in other cases, they have to come on time if they are latecomers. So what is required is change the reinforcement style of looking down. The students and the teachers will shake hands with the person who is an absentee who is reappearing after 1 week. If it is a class of 30 people, all of them will shake hands, including the teacher. What are they doing? they are rewarding the person's reappearance. Okay, it's a non-absenting behavior. And the person will be happy. He is not looked down upon. He or she is not looked down upon. It can be a handshake, or it can be a namaste, okay, or with a few words in the vernacular. In Tamil, we say vanga. Vanga means welcome, okay, and do a namaskar, not handshake because of corona. So you do namaste and say welcome, okay. Hi, like in Hindi, like in Telugu, you may say, or Malayalam, or whatever. And the person is happy that so many people are recognizing his behavior of coming to the school or the class. And the fellow will say, okay, I will do it. I'll do it regularly. I will come regularly because I'm being loved and accepted and appreciated and rewarded. And this will also develop a positive view of the students and the teachers. And definitely, it will be a magical wand which can change the behavior of a problem student. Okay, and avoid punishment or looking down. Okay, even the visual contact will tell the person what the hell you are doing, like that. So show love and compassion and tolerance. And it will be a game, it will be a technique, it's a fun. Okay, then people will change. That tough guy will change, definitely. This is my suggestion. And there can be ever so many ways, but this is what I suggest.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome, Professor.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I'm Durga Bhavani.
Okay.
I just have a problem, sir. How to help a student who is addicted to games?
Addicted to what kind of games?
I mean, virtual games like games on mobile or PC. So the
Okay. What is the age? What is the class?
probably
Or,
9th, 8th, it's from 6th to 10th, sir.
no, you tell
6th
me
grade
about
to
a
10th.
specific case. See, when we discuss, you should talk about a specific case, the class, the age, the gender, and that will apply to everybody else. So
Yeah.
tell me.
So if the student is of age 15 years and
Okay.
he's in grade 10,
Okay, boy.
boy,
Okay. And how much time he is spending in the cell?
probably more than 6 hours, sir, per day.
Okay, good. Is he doing it in the school or at home?
At home.
And what are the parents doing? What is their vocation?
So I, like, as per my knowledge, I just suggested at least go for the study times. So since you couldn't restrict him, or you couldn't stop him playing the games, at least you give the study timing, like morning 2 hours, like evening 2 hours, so that at least he will have some study habits along with this.
Okay. Now, how do the parents handle this problem? Because it is the parents who are handling the problem at home.
Yes.
What is their style of handling? We would like to know.
So that I have suggested in this way, sir. So
No,
actually they are
I'm
doing.
not. No, what you suggested, I'm not asking. What do the parents do for this problem?
So actually they counseled the student a lot, but they don't want to give as a complaint to the teacher because they don't want to see the child looking down by the teachers and all. So since the child is also sensitive, the parents were actually counseling, like better you have to spend time for your studies also, since you are going to write your board exams.
Okay. There are two ways in which parents can respond to this behavior. One is they can be very firm and rude. That is one way. Another thing is they will simply ignore and keep quiet because they may be afraid of the child. So what I suggest is both the ways are not good. Being stiff with the child is not good. Punishment will not work. And tolerance also will not work. They should not be afraid of the child. But what I would suggest is what is known as behavioral contract. What is a behavioral contract? So the child loves to look into the cell or the net and go on watching because that is what the child likes and the child is used to that behavior. It has become a habituation or behavioral addiction like that. But parents want the child not to do that and they want the child to spend more time or all the time in studies. Is there a mid path? What is the mid path? So one of the things is you have to tell the child and ask the child how much time you can give a break. Suppose how much time you want to watch the cell and what is the time which you can give as a break, small gap. So the child will say, I will watch 1 hour game, cell, and I'll have a 5 minutes break. Okay, but it is not a attractive thing. But what is required is for the brain of the child, which is addicted to watching, the eyes and the brain, okay, and the interest, it is all addicted. It's a psycho, neuro, physiological addiction. So what you have to do, gradually you have to pull the child out. It is just like a quagmire where the person is sinking and sinking. And to pull the person, you have to pull the person out of quagmire in a very gradual manner. Okay. So what is it? I want to watch for 1 hour and I would like to have a break of 5 minutes. Wonderful. Go ahead. Now what is happening in the attitude of the parent is the parent becomes amenable. When the parent becomes amenable, the child also becomes amenable. And keep watching for the whole day. Within the 6 hours, there will be 6 5-minute breaks. So the brain of the child, eyes of the child understands that they can have a small break. In the break, the child will go to the toilet or have some biscuits or fruits and come back. So you are actually educating the brain of the child. Okay. So it's a training for the brain. And brain starts inhibiting that addiction. What we call in psychology and physiology is excitation and inhibition. The brain is excited, okay, and I want all the time. I can't go without that. That is excitation. But when you introduce a small gap of 5 minutes, the brain understands. Okay, I will inhibit this temptation. It's a self-regulatory practice. And I always call it as a it is a self-declared goal. Not the parents will say, you have a half an hour you do it and half an hour you stop. It's not like that. They are asking the child and the child feels the importance. My parents are asking, I am the deciding authority and it is a self-declared goal of giving a 5 minutes break out of 60 minutes of watching. Okay. And once the brain develops this inhibition, after a week, the parents can ask for a revision of the time, break time. The child will say maybe 7 minutes break. Okay. And in the meantime, it will take something, snacks, etc. And it will come back to watch. It's all right. But the brain understands that I can apply breaks. Okay. By this process, every week, ask the child, make the child the boss, satisfy the ego of the child, and the parents are listening to the child, not that the child has to listen to the parents. And the child will understand, my parents love me. Then there will be a transformation. How much time it will take if you ask me? It'll take 6 weeks time where the child will completely shift from the addiction to self-responsible behavior. This is what can be tried. Okay, any electronic addiction to the net or to the porn videos, okay, or TikTok or whatever, to music, to films or television, anything will change because they are not aware. They are enjoyment oriented, entertainment oriented, not productivity oriented. So I would call it as a technique where you are training the brain of the person, not the person, but the brain, because that is a central processing unit, CPU. So behavior therapy targets at the CPU or the central nervous system. Okay, and these poor people are the victims. The students and the parents are the victims of the particular client. That's what I would suggest.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Welcome.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, this is Dr. Ashok, sir. I'm a teacher. Sir,
Yes, Dr. Ashok.
a small problem in front of you, sir. In olden days, students used to celebrate their birthdays in the schools by offering a chocolate like that, sir. But nowadays, after
Yes.
the school hours, some of the boys
Yes.
and girls, only few of the boys and girls are meeting and celebrating birthdays. Sir. How can we see this, sir? Whether we have to stringently stop it or what is your suggestion, sir?
They are
Can we see this?
celebrating what? They are celebrating what?
Their birthdays beyond the class
How-
hours, beyond teaching hours,
Okay.
by keeping a birthday cake and all these things, banner like that, sir. And few boys and girls are gathering to celebrate that. And whether it has any effect on the other classmates, whether it can be seen as a problem or not.
Okay. Okay.
Sir.
Good. See, they are enjoyment oriented. Some people are excitement oriented, enjoyment oriented, or self oriented. This is a central problem. In other words, they don't care about others. Okay. And there are cases where they become too selfish. And we have seen in the WhatsApp videos in a classroom, girls are sitting on the lap of boys. And some boys are sleeping with their head on the lap of a girl in the classroom. Okay. So what does it signify? As I have already told, there are only two categories. One is selfishness, other is altruism. You have to move them from selfishness to altruism. Okay. How to do that? And you have to do it slowly. Very, very slowly you have to do it. Okay. And I usually give the example, if you want to stitch a cloth, you take the needle, you take the thread, make it very, very thin, slowly put inside and pull the whole thread. In that way, in changing human behavior, what we call as a technique is a systematic hierarchical desensitization. Or in other words, it is simple, in simple words, change them gradually, change them imperceptibly, without their knowledge that they are changing, you have to change them. Okay? How to do it is one of the very important things. So we used to have community service in schools and colleges. The school or college should develop areas where people can help others. Okay? And I would give some models where poor students are helped by their students. School students are helped by college students. Or Secondary school children are helping the primary school children of poor families by offering tuition where they feel that they can help somebody else, some other person. Okay. So in the nearby area, whether slum or poor area, they can go and do some social service or helping service. Okay. They may do it out of compulsion also initially, but they will start loving the work. I would like to quote here one example because these things happen not only with children, it happens with adults, as I have quoted in the beginning, MBA students. Now I am going to talk about a Rotarian, an industrialist from Japan. A Rotarian means they have achieved and they have become a member of the Rotary Club. And that person joined the Rotary because of a ego satisfaction. I want to become a Rotarian. He will pay the fee, but he will not attend the meetings. And he will have the Rotary pin and go around telling people will say, oh, you are a Rotarian. It's an ego satisfaction. But he has not done anything for the community. He may give money, little money, and if he is asked for, he won't volunteer to give donations. But one of the days, the president of the club called him because he is a new member. He should learn the value of serving others. Okay. So he told one small project. What is that? You will be the project chairman. You take the children from orphanage, some 20 children, take them to the nearby beach. They would like to enjoy and give some snacks and bring them back. So this man was very happy. My president called me and gave me the importance of taking this is a project. Okay, he took the children to the beach side. And when he was about to leave with the children to the orphanage, one child came and held his hand and requested, can I hold your hand for some time? And he was surprised. What is it? Because it's an orphan child, no parents. And it was holding his hand tightly. He also was tempted to hold the hand tightly. Then he felt that this is what caring is. He was a businessman, achieved a lot of money, nice family, nice status, everything. But he learned how to respond with love. Then he started donating more, doing a lot of projects. He became the district governor, which is a higher responsibility. And he became the president, becomes the district governor, and he became the Rotary International President, a Japanese. And he was narrating the story to other people who are lesser than him in cadre. This is how I simply joined. Then I felt the need for human touch. Now I have become the Rotary International President in Chicago. So somewhere like a guru guiding the Sishyas, the teachers and parents and psychological counselors can introduce the person who is not aware of service, not aware of compassion, in a very gradual manner. And like a magnet, it will catch. And that person will go above and become more compassionate. So that is what a guru does to a Sishya, because the Sishya doesn't know how to come out of selfishness. So the central mechanism is a travel from selfishness to caring for others. This is the central road. Okay, from a local road to a national capital to an international capital. That's all. Relating to the world. So if this is followed, people can use their imagination and find so many ways of leading people out of their shell. Okay, that's what I would like to suggest.
Thank you, sir. Okay, sir.
Welcome, Dr. Ashok.
Sir, good evening, sir. This is PSN Reddy from high school teacher, sir.
Yeah, please.
Sir, I observed some abnormal behavior problems from class 8, started from class 8.
Yes.
That is teachers, parents dominating, commenting the teachers, love affairs, and fighting. These 10 to 15% students are affected all the classes sometimes.
Okay.
So how to manage these behavior people? So at the age class 8, from 8th class to 10th class.
What is the behavioral problem? If you can define it, it will be good.
Commenting the teachers are dominating parents.
Okay.
Sometimes they are addicting some alcoholic something. I observed
Okay.
this.
Okay.
I'm going very friendly way in my class also, these people. But sometimes I cannot understand the problem. I-
Okay. Okay.
It will
Now,
be started from observed 8th class onwards.
okay.
That means
Now, can you
13.
say it is an attention-seeking problem?
Yes, sir.
Do you think they are trying to seek the attention of the class and the teacher?
No, sir. They are not attend to the classes also. Not interested in the teaching also. Sometimes some teachers are facing so many problems about the students.
Now, I want you to specify what do they do? They disturb the class, distract the class, insult the teacher, or insult the parents, or what?
They sometimes they disturb the classes, sir. Not
Okay.
interested in the studies also. That's why they are not they are insulted the teachers. They are affected the whole classes also.
Okay. Okay. Now,
Sir.
it is an indication of attention seeking.
Yes, sir.
According to me, it is an attention seeking. They are trying to become a hero.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. That means they were not being appreciated by the parents or the teachers or the classmates. And they are unable to get a positive stroke or an appreciation, what we call in transactional analysis as a golden stamp. It is appreciation, a patting, okay, and a rewarding. But instead, they are being criticized, okay, punished, or laughed at, or insulted, which is known as a gray stamp. So I would like you to go through I Am Okay, You Are Okay by Eric Berne. It's a book which is available in the bookshops. If you understand that, there are 4 stages of personality interaction. The one stage is I am okay, you are okay. The person feels I'm all right and others are all right, including parents, including teachers, including strangers. That is the healthy state. Okay. It's known as the ego state. It's normal, it is good, it is productive for the person and for the society. The next stage is I am okay, you are not okay. That means he is all right, he or she is all right, but others are not all right, including parents, teachers, or strangers. And it leads to arrogance and they feel superior to others. Okay, I am the hero and others are zero, or I am the heroine, others are zeroing. The next stage is I am not okay, you are okay, which means I am not okay and others are okay. My parents are okay, my teachers are okay, everybody is okay in this world, but I am a zero. Okay, we previous one is I am the hero. Here I am a zero and others are heroes and heroines. Again, it's a problem. It's an inferiority. The previous one is superiority. Ahankar. Then they will not come up well. And here it is inferiority. And whatever they do, they will not be happy. The fourth stage is I am not okay. You are also not okay. That means I am a bad guy, worthless guy. I am a zero. And everybody is a zero. They will say, show me one person who is good. They will always find fault with others. Okay, neither they are good nor others are good. And these people end up in prisons as criminals. Or they become mentally ill and they go to asylums, mental asylums. Now, what is to be done to uplift these people? Four categories. The top category is healthy and productive. Other categories are not good. Okay. So what I suggest for people of any category in this matter, please take a paper and write down what is good in you. Whatever little thing is in you, write there. Serial number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So if I give it to MBA students, they will think they are zeros. But then I will say, right, I'm a graduate. Right. Another thing, I am good in the sports, cricket or whatever. Then I know how to ride a two-wheeler. Skill, talent, qualification. Okay. The list will go on 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Today, continue it tomorrow. In a week's time, they would have discovered so many good things in them. And gradually they are moving from I am not okay to I am okay. Similarly, look around to your parents, your teachers, your friends, and write down what is good in them. Okay, then they will start looking at the perception of what is good in others, and that list will go on. It may not be with regard to one person. One point in father, one good thing in mother, one thing in a brother or sister, or one thing in one of the teachers or one of the classmates. Then they start opening their eyes to perceive goodness in others. Okay. And not only that, you go and tell the person, Dad, I like this in you. Mother, I appreciate this. Brother, I love this quality in you. To a teacher also, not to every teacher. To one teacher, you tell first. Then you start identifying first. Second, you recognize by sharing it. And then once you appreciate people, people will appreciate you. So the interaction starts and they will become all right. And one of the example is a lady who was a widow, had a son who was so lazy, you wouldn't do anything. You will simply eat, get dressed, go out and loiter and come back. So he was totally dependent, unproductive, useless. So the mother goes to a therapist and says, how do I change this behavior? I'm a widow. I'm the only breadwinner. And the son is a lazy fellow who is going out and not doing anything productive. He's a dependent, okay? He's a parasite. So the therapist asked, tell me one good thing which you have observed in that son. He said, no good thing. He's not having any good thing. No, you search, find out. There must be a streak of goodness in him, which will qualify for appreciation. Then she said, all that I found is he dresses up well. He looks like a hero, dresses like a hero, but he is not doing anything useful. He simply eats. Then the therapist said, don't talk about negative things. Talk only about one good thing. So today you have identified after a little time that he dresses very smartly and he looks like a hero. So tomorrow, when he dresses and goes out, tell him, my son, you are well dressed, looking smart, and you are looking like a hero. What is it? There are 3 golden stamps she has given to the child, son. Okay? And he was surprised. Oh, my mother is appreciating. Otherwise, she was distributing gray stamps. What are you going to do? You are simply going, loitering, not doing anything, not earning, not studying. These are gray stamps. So the therapist said, don't issue gray stamps, issue only golden stamp. Appreciation, recognition. Then the child was shocked and surprised. My mother is appreciating me. Then the son started asking, Mom, what I can do for you? Then she said, go and get some grocery stuff in the nearby shop. He went and brought it. She hugged him and said, what a wonderful thing you have done for me. Otherwise, I have to go out and buy something. The son was happy. So gradually, his positive helping behavior developed and he became a useful person. So changing the other person, the magic wand is with the teacher, with the parent, with the classmates. If you start appreciating people, they will do appreciable things. So you have to train the people around the problem character to appreciate what little good thing is there in the child, okay, or the adult. And that will bring a lot of magic. That is the reinforcement of the desirable behavior, technically speaking. And there will be always some desirable behavior. Even if there are so many undesirable behavior, we have to identify 1 or 2 desirable behavior and reinforce it by appreciation. And more and more desirable behavior will come. Yes. Yes. Tell me.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. We will stop today. Already
Okay.
it is reaching 9 o'clock.
Okay.
Sorry for the interference, but
No problem.
before going for vote of thanks,
Yeah.
I am giving some information to the participants.
Okay, please do.
Today we have shared some of the problems. So what I request the participants, you all noted down now and kindly write down the problems which you have here shared and how many participants are there in this. And similarly, all the participants should write down 1 page their problem or the problems which were shared here, 3 to 4 problems. So that is left to you. 1 problem you just choose and write down 1 page, that is problem as well as solution given by our professor. The same today 30 participants or 40 participants, all the 30 or 40 participants kindly just send your 1 page case study to Professor Ashok from our WCOP important person. Ashok, again we will share in the that group. So each today 30 people, 30 problems and solutions have to come to Ashok. And finally 24 days, 24 problems of say 30 participants or 40 participants. So all the 40 into 24. So we'll file it and we'll make it as a record. And this record we are not going to give it to you back. So why? Because this filing, it is an evidence that we have organized a program and you are all participated and underwent and with the record. So kindly make it a note. Kindly send, if not now, tomorrow, at least don't delay, send it to Professor Ashok. And now I request Chinni Simon, Professor Ganesh sir, what would be the next date? Kindly give us.
Now you can fix it up with other resource persons and you can
we'll
announce.
fix it up. Okay, then we will just place it in the
Okay.
that WhatsApp group. No problem.
team.
this week only. Now I request Chinni Simon to say a very brief word of thanks so that we'll close the session.
Thank you very much, sir. On behalf of the World Congress of Psychologists, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to the founder president of WCOP, Professor B.G. Reddy Garu, the General Secretary of WCOP, Professor Subhashini Garu, and the Treasurer WCOP, Professor Suresh Garu. Then I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to our chief guest, Professor V. Ganeshan, who had inaugurated our training program today, who had inaugurated our virtual training program today, and who had also given us some valuable suggestions for the problems which were raised by the participants. Today, we had seen solutions to 3 problems, that is irregular student absenteeism, how to control them, and then how to help students who are addicted to mobile games, and how to bring awareness, or how to bring the students who are celebrating birthdays in small groups after the school hours, how to control them and bring them to their normality, or move them from selfishness to altruism, and then how to control the abnormal behavior of the high school children from their arrogant and inferiority or mentally ill position to I am okay, you are okay position. Thank you very much, sir. We are very much enriched with your very knowledgeable explanation to all these problems. I would also extend my heartfelt thanks to Dr. K. Panduranga Swami Garu, who had enriched us with his message regarding the dire need of counseling psychologists for the school students and parents in controlling their problems of anxiety or suicidal tendency, or addiction to mobiles or alcoholism or smoking, etc. Then I would like to extend my thanks to Professor S. Padmanabhai Garu, who had led us with his positive vibes, saying that many or 90% of the population have no problems at all, or even if they have some petty problems, they can find solutions on their own. And he has agitated that, saying that he had given us the difference between suggestions, guidance, and counseling. And he also stressed on the need of counselors for not only for high school students, but even for the students at primary level also. And he has also told about the nature of work for counselors. Thank you very much to one and all, especially to all the participants and to core committee members and executive members who had made this program a grand success. Thank you all very much. Good night to all of you.
Next program, we will be restricting to 7 and 8 only. Thank you very
Okay.
much. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.